Welcome to SmileFy. Today, we will explore how to make a 3D mock-up design. At this point, we should already have our patient created. All files were calibrated and saved. So let's open our case. Here we have our case files and files calibration. It is always recommended to have done one of the simulations with your patient prior to starting a new 3D design. In our case, we've made an AI smile design. We also have already created a simplified mock-up design, only to illustrate the fact that we can import the simplified mock-up design or to start a new one. To create a mock-up 3D design with SmileFy, we have three choices: the 3D Smile design and the automated 3D design. The difference between them is that in the first one, we do the entire planning ourselves. In the automated 3D design, the AI will do the initial planning for us. Let's start with the 3D Smile design. From these options, select Yes. Selecting New Case would start a new patient. Here, SmileFy asks us if we want to bring the existing design over or start a brand new design. Today, we will select to start new design. In this first step, we are going to start by leveling the model to a horizontal orientation. Use the grid on the background to guide you, and the buttons on the right side to adjust the model. You can also make the mandible transparent just by sliding the bar to the left. Now, let's adjust the occlusal curve. SmileFy has already proposed a curve for us, and we can use the buttons on the side to move the entire curve. Start by finding the midline and work from anteriors to posteriors. The position of the curve, referent to the incisal edges, depends on the type of design. If the design is only additive, the occlusal curve should be slightly forward from the incisal edge. For other designs, the curve should be at the incisal edge. Make adjustments to the curve using the red circles, and choose between symmetry on or off to help achieve the correct curve. Once we are satisfied with the occlusal curve, click the Next button. Next, we will be adjusting the smile frame by using the sliders. You can also make other objects transparent, helping you visualize the smile, like you see here. Observe the curvature of the occlusal line. It should follow as best as possible the lower lip. Start by adjusting the ratio bar, moving the slider to reach the desired width, followed by adjusting the height bar. Once you've set a height, you will know which size ratio you have. Now, adjust the occlusal angle bar and find the desired position for your case. The occlusal line following the lower lip helps to achieve a more harmonious result. Once you're done adjusting the smile frame, click on Next. In this step, select the teeth you wish to have designed. Simply check or uncheck the boxes or use one of our presets. Once we've determined which teeth will be designed, click on Set. At this point, we can adjust the width of each tooth. We can either adjust left and right sides together, or we can turn off the link option and work with them separately. Centrals will always be symmetrical. Let's go ahead and adjust the width of each tooth on our design. Once we've completed this process, click Next. From this point on, the 3D Smile Design tool and the Automated 3D Design tool are virtually the same. So we will quickly switch to the Automated 3D Design and show how the initial steps are done there. In this first step, check if the calibration is correct. After that, simply click on Next. Here we will choose between two occlusal curves, one matching the patient's current curve and an ideal curve. Select from one of the choices and click Select Curve. In this screen, you can make any further adjustments to the occlusal curve, then click Next. Notice that the AI created an initial positioning of the teeth. We can now choose which workflow we would like to follow, or simply start using the tools available to create your design. In a mock-up workflow, we start by choosing the template. Quick note about templates. You can change the settings from Aesthetic to Select, and change individual templates to create a unique style. We can also use the option 3D-Fi and filter for desired characteristics in the templates. Second step in our 3D mock-up design is Tools, where we can adjust position, rotation, and size, and much more. On the bottom of the screen, you can choose the view that you prefer. We can now use the tools available to us to make any necessary adjustments. Notice that by changing the pivot of the rotation, you can adjust the design in different ways. So, let's do the necessary adjustments for our case. Let's see how the design looks on her now. In the 3D Layers tool, we can determine which objects are visible and we can make them transparent, making it possible to visualize the AI simulation. With that, we can make the corrections to achieve that result. By comparing the AI simulation and the current design, we can easily detect the areas that need adjustments. Next in our workflow, we have the smile analyses. Here we can use a multitude of options to check the design proportions, angles, and even make measurements. Make any corrections you may need at this time. Before following the workflow to Mesh Editor, you can use the tool Liquify. To use it, select Liquify, click on Advanced, choose your file, and click Done. To start, select the tooth, then select one of the dots around the image to deform the tooth. Here, the deformation happens without loosening the anatomy of the template. Make any adjustments necessary for your case. After making all the corrections, we can use the tool AI Interproximal Correction to detect overlapping issues in the interproximal areas. Simply click Maxilla or Mandible, and after it's done, select the desired spacing between teeth and click Correct. Once done, click Apply. Let's change the view of the design to have a broader look at the entire aesthetic of the case. Before going to one of the final steps in the process, you can check the thickness of the entire design by using the tool Heat Map as you see here. Heat Map will show problematic areas in red. Make adjustments as needed, or just follow to the next step, Mesh Editor. To start, select any of the brushes, then select the files you wish to edit. Choose the appropriate brush, set a size and work intensity. Change the angle of the model to make the changes to the direction you want. Be careful not to overdo any deformation. But if an accident happens, look for the undo button at the bottom of the screen. In the palette area, we can decide the coverage of the design, either by onlays, 3/4 crown, or full crowns. To make onlays on this premolar, for example, we can use the flatten brush. If you would like to have full crowns, make any corrections needed to achieve the proper thickness of the design. Here we'll use the inflate brush. Once we've done making the adjustments, click on Apply. The last step in our design is to make a printable object. For that, we will use the tool CAD Features. In CAD Features, we have access to all the tools needed to create printable objects. In our case is a mockup design, so let's go ahead and select Mockup. We can ignore these options for now. Now that our design is done, we can create a presentation for the case. In 3D Layers, make the mockup model transparent and adjust the 3D light, shadows, and color. Then click on Screenshot under Before and After. We can also add a video of the design on our patient. Select SmileFi Ava, choose from one of the options, and click SmileFi Ava. Allow a short while for the video to be ready. We can also use the tool SmileFi AI Realism to make our before and after picture amazingly realistic using the power of AI. Make any final checks as you see necessary, then click Next. In the presentation page, we have different options to select to show the design to your patient. Remember, we can send these presentations to the patient prior to printing a model or booking the next appointment. The last step is to simply save your case. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to our support department on support@smilefy.com.